Hey, good afternoon. I want to take you through a little exercise, and it's all oriented about goodwill and how value is placed on businesses that are all goodwill in nature. I work for a guy by the name of Andy Cagnetta, who's kind of the recognized leader in our industry. And a while back, he told us a story about a conference he was at, where the speaker had turned to the audience and asked everybody to take their watch off whatever arm they were wearing it and switch it to the other side. So I'd ask you to do that as I do it now. As Andy relayed the story, what happened was that a small portion of the group just completely ignored it and refused to do so. The vast majority of the people in the room did switch it, and then some folks switched it, but then, as the speaker was continuing to speak, they all switched the watches back because it felt uncomfortable. And think about how you feel right now that you switch your watch over. The lesson is that people's habits die hard, and that things that people are comfortable with tend to stay and go the distance. And that's how we want to talk about goodwill. A business that is mostly air, as I call it, or goodwill or blue sky, whatever you want to, brand you want to put on that, or word you want to put on that term, has value. Banks and people traditionally tend to place a lot of value on things and assets. I kind of, recognize those as having street value and liquidation value. But the goodwill, the blue sky, and indeed the things that make up those two items, or that one item, is really has some good value. And here's the things that make up goodwill. The history of the business, how long it's been established. You want to look to see that that business hasn't changed hands every year. Where it's located. You look at a restaurant that's been in the same location for 30 or 40 years. That has a great deal to drive the value of the business. You want the phone number that's involved in being transferred to have been there for a long period of time. Pricing structure, name, logo, color schemes, product reliability, the employees that have been in the business for years, and the wisdom and knowledge inside their heads. A product's reliability, is that product patented, is that product trademarked, the value that customers place upon the service or the products that are provided because of its locality to their businesses or personal needs. The stories, the information that's out there on the internet about a business, that's goodwill as well. The familiarity that customers have with the people in the restaurant or in the food that the chefs create. If the chef's been there the same and the food tastes the same, there's some comfort to that. That's goodwill as well. Past, present, and future advertising is goodwill. The network and relationships of vendors and suppliers, websites, domain names, and the business model, how it actually does what it does, is often a component of goodwill. And 100 other things can be added into the goodwill. For accountants or financiers or novice valuation experts to say those things don't have value, I think is frankly ludicrous and ignores the true value that heavy goodwill businesses have. Existing businesses are probably one of the most underestimated investments that you could make. If you look at traditional investing in light of the recent downturn in the economic world we live in, let's talk about CDs. What's the rate of return on that today? What did the stock market do? Although I think today it hit its record high. What has it been like for the last 5 years? Truly a roller coaster. Real estate, well, if there was a good investment time, we missed that bubble. Las Vegas and the lottery are truly not good investments, but a lot of people plan that way. And a startup business, I think is the riskiest of all. So my advice is to go after an existing business. A good small business or franchise is proven, simple, has immediate income. There are systems in place, whether they're documented or not. And if you want to really truly research whether this is a good investment, go out there, find a good business broker, get your advisors on board, and that would mean an attorney, an accountant, and a good, respected senior advisor who's been in business and been in the trenches and owned a business. Your broker, your attorney, and your accountant all have specifics and professional skill sets. One does not replace the other, and one is not better than the other. And you, as the business buyer, need to control those three parties and make sure they're working in concert. A good team of advisors can help you get through this process, and it is a process. So I'd recommend you go to my website or the Transworld site, learn about the buying process, and get really, really educated. Another good resource for you is the book called Buying a Good Business at a Great Price. You can get that at www.diomo.com. That's diomo.com. Or go to my website and there'll be a link for that as well. And that is www.businessesforsale.com. Thanks for listening, and feel free to give me a call.